Hi there, and welcome to She Spice. You know, since Monique's plunkdown with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay began causing disturbances online, it's been causing a remarkable mix. It's drawing matches to Katt Williams' own meeting on a similar stage simply a month earlier. Now, on the off chance that Feline's take is on Monique's meeting, it appears as though he's all in her corner. I mean, he even went as far as stretching out a greeting for her to open up for him on his current stand-up visit, the Dull Matter visit. What's more, he did it in the most Katt Williams way imaginable through Instagram. Obviously, yet hold up on the grounds that where there's feline, there will undoubtedly be a little sprinkle of show supposedly, and you realize how bits of gossip love to twirl that feline isn't simply welcoming. Monique curious to see what happens on any old visit. No, clearly he has a few sensations at his disposal, like spill the tea kind of stuff. Murmurs in the Great Plant propose that there's somebody who might be listening with some serious grudge energies. Somebody who supposedly verged on getting rid of both Feline and Monique, yet here's the thing, Feline and Monique aren't the very type to accept dangers without a fight. They're the sort of individuals who won't remain silent on the off chance that they feel they've been violated, particularly when the stakes are this high, so assuming there's any reality to these bits of gossip, well, lock in light of the fact that it seems as though somebody's going to experience their own medication now. How persist? Eli, did Feline and Monique say or unsettle somebody's plumes to this degree? That is the million-dollar question. So we should get into it, so we should rewind a piece to a couple of days prior, when Katt Williams worked up some significant buzz on Instagram. He dropped this incredible banner that seemed as though it came straight out of a Wonder film, yet with a humorous turn. It's called D Parody Jam Nationwide Conflict and Bundle, with every one of the large names have been causing disturbances in Fel. Ines and Monique's new meetings. We're talking Cedric, the performer for Love Tremor, Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, Steve Harvey, D.L. Huey, Ricky Smiley, and obviously our principal heroes, Feline and Monique, are playing themselves. In addition, there's a heavenly setup of appearances by parody legends like Dave Chappelle Davis, Gary Owen, and Corey Hull. Now, in the event that you're considering what's with the entire nationwide conflict vibe in the title, definitely that is an immediate gesture to the show that has been preparing since those dangerous clubs. Shay interviews hit the scene, but Felicity doesn't stop there. He drops this enigmatic statement from his profound Instagram page. Something about the universe expressing out loud that whatever has a place with you will brown nose find you. Simply unwind, partake in your espresso, and co-make it with me. Seems like some vast direction, right? Well, word on the road is it's all attached to Monique letting the cat out of the bag about joining Feline on his Dull Matter visit for a couple of dates. And I need to tell you about my twin sibling Katt Williams. I will join my sibling Feline Williams on the Dull Matter visit. We are energized and think about who else is bouncing on board. Imprint Curry and even a Hart. Kevin Hart's with this setup. It might appear that Katt Williams has united this group of comics, who may very well have a couple of normal enemies hiding in the shadows of the business. Currently, we should jump into the delicious stuff the common foes are getting going with Kevin Hart, rewinding back to 2021. There was this significant episode on Kevin Hart's parody Gold Personalities digital broadcast where he had the unbelievable Monique as his visitor. They dove deeply into Monique's life, her ascent in the parody scene, and where she stands today in her vocation. Monique has disapproved of Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, and trust me, we'll get into that later, so keep it together during their discussion. Monique focused on the battles her loved ones confronted, portraying them as being toward the wall. It was then that Kevin Hart, being the stand-up fellow, stepped in to offer his help. He communicated to Monique that she's like family to him, a mother, an auntie, and a sister moved into one. Hart didn't stop at soothing words. He made a move. Now Hart conceded he didn't actually know Oprah Winfrey, but by and large, he guaranteed Monique that he'd contact Tyler Perry and think about what he did. After a genuine discussion with Perry, Hart returned to Monique with the promising news that Perry was prepared to make peace and move past the show. Hart, being the voice of reason, encouraged Monique to do something similar. He let her know we should leave all that cynicism in the rearview. Reflect, Mo. We have greater things to achieve together. However, Hart's liberality didn't stop there in that frame of mind with Shannon Sharp. Monique uncovered that Hart offered basic reassurance as well as broadened an expert hand. He proposed to collaborate with her, and surprisingly, presented to lead her any task she needed to rejuvenate. Monique related Hart's words, saying, "I conversed with Tyler, and he said he would have rather not returned to it. However, I'll let you know what we should do to move past that. How about we simply do extraordinary things together? Don't stress over anything you desire to do. I will join forces with you. I'll produce with you. Just let me in. I believe you should hear me. Kevin Hart, we should move past that, Mo. We should do a few extraordinary things together. Don't stress over whatever you all believe we should do. I will join forces with you. I'll chiefly produce with you. Just let me in on what you maintain that you should do." She likewise spilled the beans about how Kevin came through big time loaning her a strong amount of money, and getting this, she even returned it with premium. Yet here's where it gets delicious after Hart vowed to assist her with getting her television show in the groove again. Normally, Monique was stirred up, and who wouldn't have Kevin Hart as a maker could skyrocket any task. So she enthusiastically tells her makers and ends her media creation organization. And they're already excited at the possibility of working with such a major star, yet unexpected development. 14 days after Monique gets hit with some overwhelming news, Endall drops the sensation that Kevin Hart's chief, Dave Becky, gave them a ring to say that Kevin had cold feet. Monique gets the telephone, expecting a clarification from Hart himself, and what does she get? An obscure consolation, "We'll talk Tuesday, don't stress over it." He says, "I'm a miscommunication, and we're going to talk Tuesday, don't stress over it." I'm letting you know that presently, a miscommunication occurred a long time ago. Assuming you converse with him, I converse with him. Monique hasn't heard the slightest sign of life from Kevin since concerning Feline Williams. For those of you who have hardly any familiarity with the continuous confrontation between Katt Williams and Kevin Hart, you could review that the meat follows back to the 2008 film Nitwit's Gold. Williams was at first set to start to lead the pack, yet his lawful issues at the time constrained him to a lapse on the game, which included shooting down under in Australia. Enter Kevin Hart, who plunged in and caught the job rather as per the great plan. That is where the flashes of pressure among Williams and Hart originally lighted. Now we're discussing more than 10 years of stewing meat. It resembles a sluggishly cooked stew that is, at long last, arriving at its boiling point. Williams, with all his comedic flair, is currently targeting Kevin Hart when the subject of Kevin Hart came up in his discussion with Shannon Feline directly upsupposed that Hart may be an industry plant. He scrutinized the lightning velocity of Kevin's prosperity, featuring the way in which he handled a sitcom and drove a film Soul Plane, all in his most memorable year in Los Angeles. As per Feline, this causes a commotion and causes Kevin's initial history to appear to be a piece like a secret. He previously had his arrangements when he arrived. Have we known about a humorist that came to LA and in his most memorable year in law? He had his own sitcom on network TV and had his own film called Soul Plane that he was driving. No, we've never known about that before. That individual or since. That individual, he kept getting out whatever do you think a plant is. Perhaps individuals don't figure out the meaning of these words. Known about a humorist that came to LA and in his most memorable year in La had his own sitcom on network TV and had his own film called Soul Plane that he LA? Do you think a plant is nevertheless? Kevin terminated back at Feline Williams in a post shared on stage, giving his interpretation of the most recent plate. Kevin didn't simply applaud back. He likewise made a move to plug his freshest undertaking, which is set to hit Netflix. He expressed that he got to get that displeasure up out of champ. It's really miserable. Meanwhile, kindly partake in my film trailer for my next film, Lift, which will be dropping on Netflix in 8 days, and moreover during a hazardous tirade on the Club Shay web recording. Kevin Hart had this to say when he got some information about being called out by the comic. Katt Williams, you don't engage in the carnival. You watch it when a lion emerges and rides the bicycle. You don't consider it too hard. You simply go, okay. That is insane. The lion is riding a bicycle, and afterward, you return home and partake in the remainder of your day. I don't take care of the stuff toward the day's end. It's all somewhat engaging. Hart said he added that he's certain his fans will truth-check claims like the ones made against him by Williams. I simply lack the capacity to deal with it. There's a lot going on, Hart said, but it doesn't end there. Kevin Hart's ex-Tori is additionally stirring things up around town on a visit with Katt Williams, now that T. Hart, Kevin's ex, is hitching her cart to Feline. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.